it's interesting because like who is going to determine kind of like what's right and wrong within those universes?
They sat there unclaimed, and at the beginning of last year, they were worth like $10,000. Now the cheapest CryptoPunk you can buy is $400,000. So sometimes it's just about being, in the right place at the right time, like I was, and getting lucky. So
isn't there some general fear over like kind of like one international currency?
You mean as far as like $1 or one cryptocurrency to rule them all, the ring of power?
That, but also just like, when you travel, it's it can be a pain in the ass. You get your money, in whatever country you're in. You have to transfer your funds into whatever they use there. It sounds like this makes for a better world because you can, one Bitcoin is the same everywhere.
Yep.
However, there's a lot of people that just have concern over the globalization of the world that we're seeing via the internet, via digital, just stuff in general, digital technology. And then now with digital, I guess some of the concern would be like if our technology goes that way and some of our mindset goes that way, will our other beliefs and will our other things shift in those directions? That's kind of I think one of the reasons why we have so much anxiety these days is that there's so much worry and concern over so many things from so many different places in the world. Whereas when I was a kid, you would see commercials and you'd see people talking about raising money and stuff, but there was things that you just thought, you're like, I can't really do anything about, I can't really help in those situations, those things. But now we see it so much on the news where I think it is impacting people and it's kind of hurting people in a way. I'm not saying that it's bad, but I'm just saying like in general, I think there's a concern over some globalization of the world. I think America wants to be America and perhaps it doesn't want to be Russia and perhaps it doesn't want to be like China. And so, just what are some of your thoughts on that?
Well, I mean, it's a big subject, and I think like examining it from the perspective of freedom, right? Like, I think we'd all assume ourselves to be free over here in this country, but I think especially if you look over the last 2 years, there's a lot of people on both sides of the fence that would argue that the government has too much control, and so in every society there's a government, and there's going to be restrictions about what I can and can't do, and so on the internet now we know there's things that you can and can't do, and there's regulation that exists. I think what crypto and NFTs get correct is it's decentralized. Nobody owns it. Nobody controls it. There will be regulation that comes in, but I think that one of the most important aspects is that this was built from the perspective of people that wanted to try to build something better. Inevitably, just like with Facebook, which started with the best intentions with the like button, it's people are able to use it for bad purposes and hurt one another by saying rude stuff on the internet. May have been one of those people, may still be. Whereas if you're over here in these decentralized places, if you want to build something that's all your own, go ahead. There are 3,000 apps that have been built on the Ethereum blockchain to this point.
Pat Project family, is TRT or HRT something that you've been interested in? Well, if you are, that's why we've partnered with Merrick Health, owned by Derek from More Plates, More Dates. They are the premium telehealth TRT and HRT clinic. And the great thing about Merrick Health that is so unique about them is that versus every other telehealth clinic out there, they give you direct plans for you specifically. Many clinics give you just plans that they give to everybody else, but we are individuals. We have different hormonal levels. We need unique plans. That's why you need to check out Merrick Health. And Andrew, can you tell the people how to do it?
Yes, over at merrickhealth.com, MAREK health.com. When it comes time to actually purchasing these labs and paying for them, if you're talking to somebody on the phone, you can just mention promo code PowerProject15, or if you are manually checking out on your own, you can enter promo code PowerProject15 to save 15% off all labs. Links to them down in the description, as well as the podcast show notes. Let's get back to the video.
Most companies and cryptocurrencies will source themselves off of the Ethereum blockchain. So if you take a place like Decentraland, for instance, they have their own cryptocurrency. it's called mana. It's the Decentraland currency. If I want to buy digital real estate inside of Decentraland, I want to buy a new skin to wear around, I want to build something, I have to pay in mana. So that's their protocol. So nobody can come into Decentraland and say, nope, you're not allowed to accept mana anymore. The control and the voting rights over what is going to be the protocol is controlled by whoever has the most of that cryptocurrency. So it seems that there's been a lot of thought that's been put in from the beginning with these systems that are designed to make sure nobody takes control and just becomes, the Goliath and landlord of the internet.
People have a lot of concern over like artificial intelligence and, robots kind of running things. But I think the scary thing is that people don't really recognize that that's already happening.
Oh, yeah.
You're being steered in a direction all the time via the things that are suggested in your feed and via things like YouTube and the things that pop up. They're not random. They pop up because sometimes they're things that kind of align with your goals, and I just think that there are also things that might pop up in your feed just to kind of direct you in a certain direction. And so you could make an argument that maybe some of these people that run some of these things, maybe these things are a little bit too big. Maybe they're too large. Like maybe maybe this wasn't meant to be, that we're supposed to be able to communicate with so many people and to give all our thoughts out to so many different people. It gets to be kind of confusing and overwhelming. And with something like Metaverse, you got like Mark Zuckerberg or whoever's at the helm of any of these companies. Who are they to kind of regulate? But it is their business, so it makes sense that I should be able to have rules about how people conduct themselves when they come through these doors here at Slingshot, right? But it's just it's interesting because like who is going to determine kind of like what's right and wrong within those universes?
I think one of the interesting things that I've taken away from this whole thing is that I think that we've all gotten to the point where we've got privacy concerns. Like, is Big Brother watching? Is Facebook controlling my feeds? And I think that there's a move to want more personal privacy. And over here on Web3, privacy is already everything. And most people that you meet, on the internet from the Web3 are, they've got an avatar. It's not their picture. Most of them aren't using their real names. And I think there's a place where that kind of converges with like what Apple's done with the privacy protections on their phones. We aren't going to allow, Facebook to harvest this data anymore. And those two worlds really collide so that if you don't want somebody to know who you are, then they can't. So I think there's, what was that movie? Was it The Social Dilemma? Mm-hmm. The special that was on Netflix? Like that pointed out exactly what you were saying about artificial intelligence. It's already here. It's already behind so much of what we do. If you choose that you want to opt out, you can't do that in Mark Zuckerberg's Facebook. But if you're over here in Web3, you're like, do I want to walk into Meta's Facebook-averse? Nope. I'm going to go over here to something different. You have a choice. There's no overlords like there are today.
Hey, wait, before you go, you got this far. That means that you've enjoyed the heat that we're continuing to bring you. So listen, like the video, comment something down below. We'll reply back and subscribe to the channel because we continue to bring you the heat. Seriously, do it. Love you. Bye.